This ache in your chest. It's not confusion, it's a calling. This silence between you and them, it's not the end. It's a summons from heaven. You thought you were just missing someone. But what if your heartache is the sound of divine timing knocking? Was it love? Or was it assignment? Was it distance? Or was it divine delay? Was it over? Or was it only just beginning? Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear may explain why someone was placed so deeply in your spirit, only to be pulled so far from your reach. Why they linger in your dreams, even when they've vanished from your reality. Welcome to Chosen One Sanctuary, where the hidden are revealed and the marked are gathered. Here, we do not speak to your ears, we speak to your spirit, and your spirit has waited for this confirmation. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. That includes your story. That includes your love. That includes them. You were not foolish to hold on. You were faithful to what heaven whispered, so stay. Because the signs that are about to unfold may explain your entire life. Marked by a connection. You can't shake. Some people don't pass through your life. They pierce it. They leave a fingerprint on your spirit that no amount of silence can erase. This isn't just someone you fell for. This is someone your soul recognized. And recognition always precedes revelation. You didn't choose to carry them in your heart. The heavens assigned it. The way they entered, unexpected, disruptive, undeniable, was your first sign this connection was not of man, but of God. Like David and Jonathan, two souls that met and were knit together in a covenant beyond logic. That wasn't friendship. It was divine alignment. You weren't obsessed. You were marked. That's why you can't let it go, even when logic tells you to. Because the divine doesn't answer to logic, it answers to purpose. But if it's divine, why does it hurt this much to hold? The wilderness of silence. There is a silence God uses, not to punish, but to purify. You've waited for texts that never came, prayed prayers that felt like they disappeared into the sky. Asked God, did I miss it? Or did I make it up? This season of silence is not a void. It is a veil. One that God pulls over your eyes not to confuse you, but to train you to listen without seeing. Joseph had a dream of rulership. But between the dream and the throne was silence, pits, prisons, and forgotten places. You are not forgotten. You are being forged in the quiet. The silence wasn't absence. It was divine surveillance. God is watching how you wait, not for them, but for Him. Because whoever you're waiting for is not your promise. God is. So what if the silence is the test before the scroll unseals? The fire that refines. God will often allow heartbreak to protect a holy purpose. You begged for answers. Instead, you were handed delay. You longed for reassurance. Instead, you were handed uncertainty. But do you remember Hannah? Before Samuel could be born, she had to weep bitterly. The waiting became the womb of the prophet. The pain you're carrying is not punishment. It is preparation. Because God never births great callings in comfort. He births them in the fire. You weren't abandoned. You were anointed in the agony. And when the tears fall silently in the middle of the night, God collects each one. Not one is wasted. Not one is forgotten. This pain is not random. It is prophecy in process. When darkness fights your union, hell doesn't fight what isn't holy. If you've been under relentless spiritual attack, if every time peace begins to form, something sabotages it, you're not cursed. You're called. You've been targeted because what God intends to birth through you and this person carries generational weight. The enemy doesn't fear the connection itself. He fears what it will release. Just like Herod tried to kill every boy under 2 when Jesus was born, premature warfare reveals prophetic identity. You weren't under attack. You were under assignment. The delays, the confusion, the emotional sabotage, the haunting voices that said, "You imagined it." All of it was spiritual resistance to a divine connection. If this resonates, comment "Forward now." Let heaven and hell know you're still standing. And now it's time to remember what you carry. Signs it was God all along. Still wondering if it was just a soul tie or something sacred? Here are the signs the connection was authored in heaven. You had peace, even when everything looked wrong. You received confirmation in dreams, whispers, and divine interruptions. You grew spiritually because of them, not just emotionally. The connection activated purpose, not just pleasure. God doesn't send people to complete us. He sends people to awaken us. Think of Mary and Elizabeth. 2 wombs carrying different promises. But when they met, something leapt inside. That leap was your sign. Don't ignore what made your spirit move. When you almost gave up, you thought about letting go. You wrote the goodbye message in your head 100 times. You told yourself, maybe I made it up. You even tried to force feelings for someone else, but your spirit wouldn't cooperate. That's because when God plants something, no demon in hell can uproot it. But God did allow the pressure, the silence, the longing, to purify your motives, to cleanse your soul from neediness, and to prepare your heart for something mature, holy, and missional. You didn't fail the test. You passed by, not quitting. Your waiting became worship. Your restraint became reverence. And now, the scroll is turning. The other person is in process too. They're not silent because they've forgotten. They're silent because they're in surgery. God is healing places in them you cannot see. Wounds from childhood. Fears of being known. Doubts about worthiness. Remember, before God gave Adam Eve, He put him to sleep. God works in the hidden place. What you can't reach, God is already refining. So, bless their process. Intercede with compassion, not control. When they return, they won't be the same, and neither will you. This love is a mission, not a fantasy. This isn't just romance, it's remnant alignment, it's purpose wrapped in skin. Like Jacob laboring 14 years for Rachel, not for lust, but for legacy. You've been in prophetic labor. But this love will birth something greater than just companionship, ministry, movement, multiplication. When God joins hearts, He joins callings. This person isn't your escape. They are your echo. Together, what you carry will break chains, speak life, shift atmospheres, and that's why it's taken time, because premature connection would have led to prophetic miscarriage. But now, heaven is preparing convergence. The echo is about to begin. You didn't wait all this time for closure. You waited for commissioning. What you carry in your heart is not weakness. It's a whisper from the future. And soon, it will become a shout that echoes across generations. So lift your head, steady your heart, prepare your oil, because when they return, it won't be for another cycle. It will be for a covenant. Let that truth echo. Let it seal. Let it burn. Echo activation. What if this wasn't about just one person? What if the waiting, the ache, the intercession was never just about love, but about the awakening of nations through your obedience? You see, chosen ones are not called to comfort. They are called to echo the voice of heaven in a generation that has gone numb. This connection you're carrying is the seed, but the harvest is far beyond you. Your love is not just personal. It is prophetic infrastructure for what God wants to release through your lineage, your voice, your story. Esther was chosen for a palace, but her obedience echoed into a nation's salvation. Mary carried Jesus in silence, but her yes reshaped eternity. You are next in this lineage of holy echoes. And the one you're waiting for? They're not just a spouse. They are a sound, a frequency from heaven that your spirit recognizes because it was designed to resonate in unity with yours. This is why you couldn't walk away, This is why it never made sense. This is why hell fought you early and often, because what you're carrying was never just for now. It was for the future that your yes is unlocking. When you're finally joined, the sound released won't just bless your home. It will ripple through timelines, bloodlines, and battlefields. So don't give up. Your obedience is the echo that unlocks someone else's destiny. Let what began as heartbreak finish as a heavenquake. There is one truth you must carry from this sacred moment. You weren't forgotten. You were hidden for preservation, separated to be sanctified, delayed to be delivered on time. What you thought was silence was actually the sound of heaven holding its breath, waiting for this alignment. You are not someone who merely felt deeply. You are someone who was chosen early. Chosen to carry a connection that looks like love, but is actually legacy. Your endurance was not weakness. It was proof of your prophetic capacity. You are one of God's hidden ones, tested in silence, refined in fire, entrusted with a scroll that holds more than your own story. You have been marked. You have been forged. And now, you are being released. If something in this word pierced your spirit, if you feel the confirmation burning within, comment 777 as a prophetic act of agreement. Let heaven see it. Let hell recognize it. Let the earth record it. Tell us what stirred you. Was it the silence? The ache? The echo? Your words may awaken someone else walking the same path. And if this voice feels like home, subscribe to Chosen One Sanctuary. Because the remnant is rising, and you are part of it. You are not alone. You are the next echo.